So I care for my mother. She has dual sensory loss, so that's both her sight and her hearing have mostly gone. Most of my role involves sort of around facilitating her mobility. If she needs to go out anywhere, she has to be accompanied either by myself, or if she's going further afield, someone else who can drive. I also read stuff for her because obviously when out and about she can't really see that well, so if we're in a shop or something and they have prices on stuff, she won't be able to read them. So I also read sort of posts and whatnot for her because everyone sends stuff with teeny tiny little letters, and when you can't see, that's something you just can't see. When I was younger, I would go with my mum to collect her prescription to guide her there, and when I became an adult, I went there and collected it by myself, and still do today. They've gotten used to me now, so as long as I give them my name and can identify where the medication is supposed to go. They also helped us set it up in blister packs for her as well, so it's easier to manage. GP, most of what we do there is not actually with our doctor, but with the nurse when she goes for blood tests, which are fun. She did have one stay over at hospital where it wasn't necessarily the problem with me, but it was a problem they had with her disabilities. Because despite having their own language on her chart to say that she's blind and she's deaf, during the night they'd stand there shouting at her to wake her up, not realising she's not going to wake up because she's not going to hear them. Eventually they did get the message and they started to just give a little nudge every now when they needed to wake her up. I don't think they really knew I was her carer, no. They knew that I was her son, but other than that, I don't think they realised I was her main carer. Obviously, because getting out to hospital for me by myself isn't the easiest of things. I normally would have gone with someone else, so they would have probably identified that person over me as the carer. When she was discharged, I went with a relative to pick her up and bring her back home. They consulted her over it, asked whether she was feeling ready and not to go home, but not me. To listen to them more than anything, but also to consult with them as well. Because in our case, her coming back home isn't that much of a problem, but for some people it's something that needs to be facilitated and looked into before they come back home. Especially if the person that they're going back to is children and younger carers.